your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Chrissie is hilarious.
Chrissie, have you ever heard of the comedian Basha K. Ali?
No, that sounds like something you yell out before you blow up a plane.
30 seconds remaining.
But you know what, good thing to say, I doubt it will stand up to something. I haven't been disrespectful to you at all.
I was very confused by the title, Everything Everywhere All at Once, because that's also what we call it when Ash takes off his shirt. I shouldn't be up here. I should be in school on the other side of the ocean. Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of the Chrissie Mayr podcast. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. You can listen to this podcast everywhere. SoundCloud, Spotify, Rumble, Rockfin, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook even for some reason. We're everywhere. And yes, without further ado, let me bring on our guest. She's a good friend of mine. One of the funniest female comedians. I won't even say female. I'll just say comedian because I hate when people preface it. Why do we always have to preface it with gender and sex? One of the most funniest comedians that I know. She is fast on her way to blowing up. I can just smell it. We were on the Grifties last year over in Morris Plains, New Jersey. But I'm so happy that she's back on the program again today. Welcome back to the show, Ms. Leonarda Jonie. Hello, darling.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I am obsessed. I am obsessed with you. I'm so excited. I'm excited at your trajectory. Do you feel like things are picking up? As someone who is similarly canceled, and then people give you shit. They go, "Oh, you're not canceled, Leonardo. You're just making it up for clicks.
Right.
You're grifting."
Yeah, that's what I like
like
to do. I like to have 121 people buy tickets to a show and then just cancel their tickets just so I can say I'm canceled, by the way.
What show of yours was canceled?
Chicago. These people that I was supposed to do the show at, they said they weren't going to cancel. I told them I'm a controversial comedian. I said you're going to get notifications. They said no. Then the emails start coming in and they're like, could she just like tone it down a little on her Twitter? And I was like, I'm not even doing anything. I don't think I'm doing anything. That's the problem, I think.
You're not. You're really not.
And then they acted like they didn't care and they were going to be fine with it. They knew they were getting Antifa people. And then they went and looked up my Twitter and found something that was enough for them to say, yeah, this one's going to cross the line. And then they canceled it. And then I said, can you at least give me the emails? Because I did find a new venue who seems pretty based. And I was like, can you at least give me the emails of people who bought the tickets so I can tell them where they can get new tickets? Oh, sorry. Those were deleted as soon as the I was like, you're such a fucking liar, dude.
No way.
You're such a liar. And they were looking at making a good 5,000 to 10,000 on their end, and they're still. That's how retarded these people are. They're like, my morals are bad. I'm like, all right, no problem.
They're taking those emails, they're putting them right onto their own email list. That is really sleazy. They wouldn't even give you the emails. But you know what?
None of my people are going to buy tickets with them. None of my people are ever going to buy tickets with them for anything. Anything.
Yeah. Your people are never going to go back to that venue.
They don't get it. They think I just have like regular ass fans who just want to see comedy. I'm like, no. These are diehard people who are not getting what they want anywhere else. The whole the whole Hollywood system has spent the last 20 years telling these people what losers they are, how they don't deserve anything, how they should constantly apologize for their masculine existence, their white existence, their conservative existence. So these people are coming out because there's somebody who is giving them what they want while taking lots of slings and arrows myself. And they know that it's like being in a battle. So we're like kind of diehard for each other, and they think that they're just going to be like, okay, I guess I'll go to this other event after you canceled the one person I actually want to see.
No, they're stupid. What venue was this, by the way, in Chicago?
I can't name it yet. And
Oh, but you
I'll tell
will.
you off air why I can't name
Okay.
it yet. But
And will you eventually name it, like, after you do the other Chicago show? Or no?
I'll see. I'll see how
Okay,
I'm feeling.
okay.
We'll see. Has
Yeah,
to
we
do
don't
with
want
some.
people to,
eh,
go after the place, right? So, uh,
Well, that's not it for me at all. I don't give a fuck.
okay.
My thing is if you want to be one of these kinds of assholes who does this, you should absolutely have to face the consequences of people coming after you. If you want to come after
True.
me, then when my people come after you, you're going to get a taste of your own fucking medicine. That's where I'm at. I'm not in this, ooh, we're going to have high morals. No, this is communist tactics. They're trying to kill your business so they can eventually like kill you. No, 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 no. These people don't learn by turn the other cheek. This is a this is a crusades level that we're at. It's like, all right, we're going to take the fight to you.
Yeah. Do you think somebody, sent them your Twitter or sent them tweets, or do you think they kind of got in their ear and the venue started looking
No,
more
they sent
critically at
them
your
they
Twitter?
on my Twitter account, and then they went and looked at it, and they were looking for something to be upset about.
Right.
It's like,
And 120 tickets, that's fantastic. They should just, they should not complain. They should be like, "Thank you for coming here, Leonardo.
120 tickets, and we're
Thank you
still a
for
month out.
that's incredible. Yeah, you're gonna sell this show out, and,
Yeah, it was clear
that's
that show was going to sell out, and it was a late show, like a 10:30 show on a Friday. That's what I'm telling you. My people are like, I don't care where it is, I don't care when it is. I want to show up, which I feel like super honored by. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I'll give you a fucking show then. I'll go to the heart of liberal fucking Chicago to give you guys a joke because it is a liberal city, but that doesn't mean every single person in there is liberal. And do you think
yeah.
those people are going out to one of your woke comedy shows where you go up there and talk about how many genders your cat is? No.
Good for you, and I feel the same way. I mean, I live in a blue city. I live in New York. I mean, I'm in Westchester, which is a suburb of New York City. Not well, it's 40 minutes. It's 40 minutes north. But
They're
I
more
feel like
red there though.
they are red. Long Island is extremely red. Staten Island incredibly red. I think eventually New York will turn. Jersey probably sooner than New York. But I agree with you. I think it's good to go to blue cities to do comedy because there are sane people amongst the insane and they would like to hear jokes as well from people that are real instead of people that are just spouting propaganda who don't seem to get out much.
Yep. Yep. And then they pass that off. They think that's comedy. I'm like, that's not your job as a comedian. Like comedy is supposed to be uh underground. It's supposed to be the edge. So what are you if you're just going up there and you're saying the exact same thing I could turn on CNN for and get and download into my you're nothing, dude. You're nothing. You're a little peon and you're freely giving your voice over to this propaganda that is effectively destroying the human spirit. That's the real problem. You're
Yeah.
like, yeah, but I got to make money. I got to have a career. I'm like, you're destroying what makes it worth being alive.
Which is to be honest, to call out things that are true instead of I mean, we don't need another person shitting on Elon Musk with tepid insults. We can go to the mainstream. We can watch Anderson Cooper for that. We can watch The View for that. I'd rather get like real takes on your life. Talk about your actual life. We don't need the leftist talking points. And yes, perhaps there are some conservative or comedians on the right who may be guilty of the same thing, but it's less so. It's not
It's
happening as
way
much.
less so because it doesn't pay you. It doesn't
Yeah,
reward you.
right.
You know what I mean? The other side is very lucrative, very lucrative. And it's the safe thing right now. No club is afraid of getting canceled for putting up a too left comedian. No one.
No, it doesn't. It's not
Which is
happening.
which is insane. Which is insane because if we were in a proper world, that would be the position that's radical.
Yeah, nobody's calling up a club trying to cancel a far left comedian or even a regular left wing comedian because we most of us have better things to do. We'll just simply not buy tickets to that show. Whereas
Right.
the foaming at the mouth leftists, Antifa, the activists, whatever, the unemployed people with too much time on their hands, the Rainbow Gang, whatever you want to call it,
They don't
they
even
just
want you to be able to listen to the things you like. They have
right.
deemed that you yourself are not to be trusted with the judgment about what you want. Who the
Mhm.
fuck are
Yeah,
you?
you need to be re-educated. The people can't choose for themselves who they
If
wanna
this
go
person
see.
needs to be re-educated, it's a bunch of purple hairs running around saying that you can be 17 different genders and that killing a baby at 5.5 months in utero is a woman's right. I mean, you want to talk about needing a re-education. I don't know anybody who's worse than that.
Yeah. I heard you on Roseanne talking about this. By the way, congrats on doing Roseanne's show. I'm
Well,
so
thank
happy for
you.
you. That's so cool. What was it like?
It was
As much as
awesome,
you can
man. Roseanne
don't,
is
you don't have to
awesome.
like dox it or something, but like can you say what kind of generally where it was? Like what was the
Yeah, I
process
mean,
like for going out there?
it was at her studio. I don't know if she wants people to know where her studio is, so I'm not going to. Lots of lunatics out here.
Yeah.
But it was at her studio. Her son Jake is her producer. They're great. Her whole family's so great. They were so welcoming.
Wow.
Roseanne was like telling me what a fan of my work she is. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm a fan of your,
Wow. How
you
did
know.
that make you feel? Roseanne is an icon and especially in the last few years, like really has shown herself to be a true patriot, a true free speech warrior. She's just an inspiration.
That's why
And
she's
so
canceled.
yeah, yeah. And what is it like hearing that she is a fan of yours?
Um, it's kinda surreal, to be honest. I just kinda, like, didn't even take it in because I was like, "Yeah, that's come on. What are we doing here, Roseanne? Stop patronizing
Yeah.
me." But it's nice. It's nice. I'm like, she gets what I'm doing, which is cool, and it's like said to her, any woman who's doing stand-up, you look up to Roseanne, you look up to Joan Rivers. These are the
Yes.
right?
Yes.
These are the people you look up to. So one of them, says, you're, hey, I really like your jokes. You're like, I guess that for a guy, that would be like if I don't know,
What's the
Richard
male
Pryor
equivalent?
or
Mark
who would be the
Normand,
man?
maybe? Who do I respect that's a male
Well, it
comic?
would have to be like a kind of legend, old school kind of
Oh,
guy.
okay.
If George Carlin came back and
Oh,
he wasn't
yeah.
a total, I mean, he might be a total lefty if he came back. But,
Yeah, George Carlin.
somebody like Lenny Bruce, because he's been who comes back and says, "I like what you're doing." You're like, "Oh shit," she
Jerry
recognizes.
Seinfeld, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, somebody recognizing what you're doing because they themselves get it. And she said it. I mean, and Roseanne's Jewish, and she's like, "I love your Jew jokes. It's these satanic Jews. They're doing everything horrible." And I'm like, "This is why you're canceled, right? This is exactly why you're canceled." But
Yeah.
she was like, "I get it. You're slaughtering everybody's sacred cow." She's like, "You don't care whose sacred cow it is, it's gonna get slaughtered." I'm like, yeah, that's the point of comedy. Any sacred cow it gets bloated. And then we can't even examine it honestly. And then it becomes like this taboo thing that everybody's like, and it becomes bigger than it is because we
Mhm.
can't talk about it honestly.
And we all have to tiptoe, and why? No group of people is so special that they can be exempt from that. That's
Well,
what
there is
true
one group.
equality is, right?
Well,
Yes, there is the one group,
there's
and we all know
one
because
group.
they're in charge of the weather, and,
What? Well, if you say they're in charge of the weather, they're going to send a hurricane to your town. So
it is extra cold tonight. Alright,
shout out
cool. So how
Kanye.
did Roseanne say how she discovered you, how she found you?
I think she said one of my clips came up for her in Instagram or YouTube or something, and she thought it was really funny, and then she went and looked at
Cool.
my work. And then I think her son liked my stuff and was sending it to her, which was cool. They were just really great, man, really welcoming people,
That's
you know.
awesome. Yeah, I've chatted with her son a little bit here and there. I know they were both at the Turning Point event that I was at, not this past December, but last December. I think it's just so cool that she and her son work together like that. That's really
Yeah.
neat.
Well, he's a good steward, you know, he's not gonna let anybody come in, and because when you're that famous and, you know, you have that kind of, I guess, wealth from being syndicated, everybody wants something, you know, and,
Yeah, and you
you know,
need to kind of gatekeep it a little.
she seems like she's got a really good heart, to be honest, like, she really does seem like she's got a really good heart, which, um, I know from personal experience, people who want to exploit you, they love that.
Because you're almost, you're not maybe not shrewd enough, or maybe you're a little bit too wanna believe people at face value instead of
Yeah.
thinking there's an ulterior motive.
Yep. Yep. And so that, you know, and not only that, but it's like because you have a good heart, you want to try and help people.
Yeah. She does come across like she very much has a good heart, like, she just wants to genuinely entertain people, and that's what
Yeah.
it's all about. That's what people
And
get
she's sort
wrong
of,
about. I think that's what people get wrong about you, that you're out here, like, being edgy for edgy's sake. It's like, "No, no, no, you talk about things you're genuinely curious about and have issues with." Like,
yeah, it just
it
so
doesn't
happens
pay to
to,
do this, you know? Like, you put your career on the line, often, and your reputation, and, right, gigs are getting canceled for you. I've had gigs
oh,
canceled.
yeah,
It's
I'm not
not
getting
fun.
booked at major clubs. These places that I have to go are like these underground venues. I mean, in San Diego, I literally had to go to a place that's owned by like Russian and Afghani immigrants who it's like you can't find it. You know what I mean? It's like almost on the border of
In
Tijuana.
Russia, joke tells you, "Yes, come in, Leonardo, we think you are very beautiful."
You know what's so funny is one of the Antifa fucks found the location that I was doing in San Diego. So she calls them. She calls the Afghani guy. She's like, I can't believe you're going to have this comedian. Don't you know she's a racist? And the Afghani guy starts laughing. He's like, she can say whatever she wants. This is a free country. And then hangs up the phone. And I'm like, what
Yes.
kind of upside down reality are we in when an Afghan immigrant has to tell an American that I have the right to free speech? They have to defend my right to free speech. I'm all about those kind of immigrants. Like if you want to be that kind of immigrant, I'm down. I don't care what you are.
Right. Those are the immigrants
I
that
mean, to an
they
extent,
go through
right? We
the
can't be
process.
we can't turn into
Yeah, of
Afghanistan
course,
over here.
you have to be a legal immigrant. Sorry, like, we're not just like an open butthole for the world to just come in and have their way with us, you know? But it's those type of immigrants that they know, they understand, because they have lived in places where their rights are genuinely taken
Yeah.
away or in danger. Not here where you have trans people who are like, "Oh my god, I can't be myself. I'm in danger." It's like, "No, you're fine." Trump didn't sign an executive order that you can't be trans anymore. It's just like we just are not transing kids anymore. That shouldn't have taken this long.
Well, they know that,
Yeah,
Chrissy.
they
They
do.
totally
They're just
know
being
that. This whole
dramatic.
disingenuous because the whole listen, what is the real point of the trans movement and the LGBT movement? It is to get your kids. That's when
It's
they
to
want
get
it.
yeah,
When you're 25, you're not going to become trans. It's too late. You know,
right. You're already set in your ways. You already bought too many clothes and you're, you
and
know,
you potentially already had children and propagated your race. So
yeah.
they don't want that. They're trying to get you before that. This is a sterilization process. It's a
Yes,
humiliation
girl.
ritual. It's to have you watch your children hurt themselves. And then you can't even say honestly what's happening. Not only can you not say honestly what's happening, but you have to support and pay for your child to castrate themselves and mutilate themselves. Can you imagine any other scenario where this would be okay? Your kid identifies as not having arms and you pay for their amputation surgery because the media told you that if you don't, they might kill themselves. And then
Oh,
you
right.
do, and then
You
they
know,
really do kill themselves because they
yeah.
realize shit, it
Leonardo,
was good having arms.
wouldn't you rather have an armless son than a dead daughter or whatever,
Right.
right? That
Right.
argument they use. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And so, you know, look, I get it. I'm like, I wish I could go less hard. I wish I knew how to do that. I don't know how to do that. I try, and then somebody posts some of this ridiculous shit, and I'm like, I can't hold back because what holding back has gotten us is to the point where children are being hurt, where we can't speak the truth about reality, where people are getting locked up, attacked, their financial situations are being canceled because of
Yep.
them
Food
daring
banking.
to
Mhm.
tell the truth. So no, no, I can't go less hard because you know what? Maybe you see what's happened now? It's 2025. Now, if you want to say there's two genders, everybody's like, yeah, that's okay. Guess
But
guess
what
what?
did it take? What did it take? It took an executive order. We
Well, what happened in 2019 when I started doing comedy? If I said there was two genders, there was Afro punk lesbians waiting for me after my show in Brooklyn to kick my ass. So don't take for granted. The only reason they're letting you say there's two genders now is because number one, we've pushed so hard that they're saying they're letting us. We're not asking for your fucking permission. I'm just going to tell you right now. We're not asking for your permission to tell you the truth. Get out of my
Mhm.
fucking face. We're going to keep telling the truth. I don't care how pent up your feelings get. I don't care if you call every fucking place I go to. I don't care if I'll never be allowed to perform again. I will not stop telling the truth. Period. The end. And I'm not going to be the only one. Every time somebody tells the truth, 100 more people take courage to tell the truth. That's
Wow.
why
Yeah.
we're allowed to say there's two genders now. And the second reason is because they have a bigger agenda. They have a war they're trying to accomplish. They have a World War III agenda. They have a 20, take everybody's property agenda. So now they're throwing a
Mhm.
dog a bone to distract you from
Ooh.
what's really going on. And once
Ooh.
again,
Smart
we don't
cities.
fucking care about your parameters about what's acceptable. We're setting the tone about what's acceptable, and you can get on the boat or be left behind.
Right. You can live in your own little world. Just don't the time of bullying others to bend to your will, to your version of reality. It's everyone's tired of it. And
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what it is. When they demand that you call them by their pronouns, that is an act of violence and a complete boundary violation. You are demanding your right to enter my sphere and tell me how I have to perceive reality. Because otherwise, you have all these labels and you've been prompted up by the state to use the state's violence against me. Well, fuck you. I don't need your permission to tell you that you're a man if you're a fucking man. I don't care what you wear. I don't care. I don't even care if you look like Blair White. You're a man. Period. The end. That's the reality. I'm not asking for your permission. And number two, we're taking back every fucking thing that's been taken away from us because the inability to speak the truth is what leads to the destruction of the human spirit and ultimately the destruction of civilization. And this is actually what leads to the kind of tremendous violence that they're constantly accusing the right of committing.
yeah, you're slowly it's crazy making training. It's you're asking people to deny what they see and hear and feel before them.
That's
And
right. If anybody listened to, Alexander Solzhenitsyn or Yuri, I forgot what his name was, they say it all the time, right? They say that the first step is to break down your perception of reality. If they can
mm,
get you to say that reality is other than what you know it is, they own you.
Bezmenov.
Yes. And
Ooh.
then they can get you to do whatever else you want.
Yep. Yep. Oh, we got some
Well, whatever
comments
else they
here.
want.
From Ben Crisp. Is Leonardo having a show on Staten Island? Oh, you would crush on Staten Island.
No, I'm not having a show on Staten Island. Sorry, Ben.
When maybe you can plan a New York trip and we can plan something out there. Zach, how was San Diego? It sold out before I could go. Sad face.
Oh, sorry, Zach. Yeah, it was great, man. It was fantastic. We had a great show. We had it sold out, and then I had to add 30 more seats, so we had almost 300 people there, which was
Hell
pretty awesome.
yeah. Good for you. You're crushing it. Matthew Hammond, has Leonardo and Nick DiPaolo crossed paths?
I don't think we have. No, I don't. I
He's
haven't.
out
I
in
know who he
Georgia.
is, but he's where?
Savannah,
Oh,
Georgia.
yeah, no, I haven't crossed paths, but I know who he is.
You guys would get along. Faux show. Rhinoceros, thank you for the yellow boy. Leonardius, love both you ladies, but Pam Bondi is really hot. She really is.
Yeah.
Trump has done a great job of surrounding himself with just good-looking, tough, smart gals. And now we have Tulsi, and now we have RFK, who's not a gal, but who is not bad to look at
Not bad to look at. He's for the gals to look at.
for the
But
gal.
also, I do think that those things all align, by the way. I think looks, intelligence, courage. People have, we've been brainwashed by Hollywood propaganda to think like, ooh, the little scrawny nerd, he's the honest one, and the big jock, he's the bully
He's
rapist. I'm
dumb.
like, it's
Yeah.
actually the other way around usually, and it's funny the
Isn't
way
that
that
called
God
it's
works.
called something. What is it called? It's, when your features match your character.
Physiognomy.
Physiognomy, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I do believe that. I've seen it.
Mhm. Joe Biden has a small peepee. Leonardo, I think you're hot AF.
Well, thank you.
Viking. Leonardo, loved your takedown of Ian Dance. Oh, Viking, we were just talking about this. I know Ian. I've done shows with him. He's a sweet guy, I guess. I didn't realize just how liberal he was. I didn't realize how liberal or lefty his material was. I was looking at that clip that you did a breakdown of, Leonardo, and I agree with you. As soon as a guy says that they are bisexual, I'm like, okay. Why are we
It's
dancing
gross.
around the subject?
It's
You are
gross.
gay. You are gay.
Yeah.
If you dabble in being a man who is bedding other men, you are gay. You can't just be
Yep.
part-time gay. You can't just be, "Oh, I'm a sometimes gay." No.
Here, here's what I'm talking about, right? The natural reaction to something like that from a woman is revulsion.
It
And
is.
people that's the
And we're
natural
not bad
reaction.
and we're not bad people. That's nature. That's you
Well,
going,
well, let
"Oh,
me
I
break
am
it down.
protecting myself from a gay man." Not that there's anything wrong with being gay. We love Mike Harlow.
Well, we're
But
going
I'm
to
just saying,
disagree. But
I mean, like, I'm not going to be with physically a gay man.
Well, you know why that is? Because
Monkeypox.
you don't know why you have this natural instinct, but it turns out science has a backing that it opens you up to a higher propensity for sexually transmitted diseases.
Butt
So
stuff.
we don't
Mhm.
know that, but we have this natural instinct that goes, ew, get that away from me. Now, what does the society, the upside down satanic society that we live in now, come in and tell you? Your natural impulse is a sign of your bigotry and hatred, and you must work to counter that. Otherwise, you're a bad person. And women are very susceptible to this because we need tribal acceptance. Otherwise, we don't
Yes.
survive. So
Very
they
easily
they have
silenced. Mhm.
taught themselves out of it, and immediately they're like, oh my God, that's so cool. You're so open to that. But are they going to sleep with that guy? Most of the time, no. It would take a tremendous amount to push them over that edge. So all of our natural impulses that we have towards these things are being shamed and told that it's a reflection of our being socialized to be these homophobic, bigoted people, when the opposite's actually true. We're being socialized to tolerate the intolerable. If it wasn't so counter to our instinct, you wouldn't need a campaign to normalize it and to promote tolerance. You don't have to promote tolerance for things that are good. I don't tolerate eating ice
Yep.
cream.
Right. Or, like, we have to tolerate a beautiful sunset or a child's giggle or
Right.
a
No, I got to
puppy.
tolerate you being a complete degenerate and then pretend that, like, well, that's your choice. No, it's not your choice. It's really not your choice. Something's going on. Something's in the water. Look, I understand some people actually end up being born gay or whatever. It's between you and God to work that out. And some people, that's just who they are. Ty Rivera, love that guy, right? Not gonna
Ty is
knock
hilarious.
him.
Yeah, good
Not
guy.
gonna knock, and he doesn't shove his shit in everybody's fucking face. But the idea that I have to tolerate something that I actually find intolerable, no, why don't we explore why I find that intolerable? Maybe there's a good reason for it.
And it's not even like they're not asking for tolerance. What they're actually asking for is to be uplifted and be better and higher up, celebrated,
celebrated and
like
held up as the
better than a normal
pinnacle.
person, better than
Yeah,
what we're all equal, we're all average, we're all on the same level, you know.
except, yeah, if you're gay, trans, bisexual, a minority, have a disability, then actually you are the pinnacle of what we should all aspire to. I should be a black, fat, trans, lesbian, wheelchair bound, gay,
You wouldn't
whatever.
get your shows canceled, that's for sure,
Oh, for
Leonardo.
sure. Nobody would be there, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's you're singing my song, girl. It's just are you excited or do you feel a little bit like you can breathe? Are you excited about what Trump has been up to in his only 3 weeks in office? Or do you feel like, you have to constantly stay alert, like some shit will pop off?
I'm always like staying alert, I think Trump's done a lot, but I also am skeptical of like, have you done it or are we being told that you've done it? I mean, I've read some
Mhm.
stuff about, they're arresting these migrants, but then they're being re-released. So it's like what makes the news is they got arrested. None of the stuff about them being re-released is
Oh,
making the news.
I hope not.
I think for the sake of morale, it's great to have him in there and saying this stuff and us like really seeing like these people aren't American. Like if you're marching in the street with the flag of your country when your home country that you left supposedly and you no longer want to be in, when we say we're going to issue mass deportations of the criminals from your country, then you should go to that country. That's where you should be. If you think
Yeah.
you can attack people for wanting to defend American soil and wanting it to remain the demographic that built this country, then you should go back. There should be zero fucking tolerance for this. Like if we had a proper country, the cops would be right down there. Everybody there would be fucking rounded up. And if it turned out that you weren't an American citizen, there you go. There
Yep.
you go. Because rights are for American citizens. That's it. And why I say this, why I feel so strongly about this, is because these people do not respect our God given rights. They don't come from a place where there's such a thing as free speech and the right to bear arms and the right to have your freedom of association. And so they have no respect for our rights to those things. In fact, they perceive that you don't have a right to them, and that if you make them upset by the things you say, they have a right to retaliation through violence, which is completely antithetical to American society.
Right, because 'cause they're
So
not
if
interested in assimilating, they're not interested in being a part of American culture,
no,
they want to stay separate and,
they don't
uh
recognize that that is the source of the problems that they just
mhm.
left. They really do believe in this kind of very farcical idea of something called like magical soil, that somehow there's magical soil in the US, and that the success of the American population is because they built it on the backs of minorities, and they have some kind of magic thing going on. They don't understand that the culture that was brought here, that founded this country, is why this country is what it is and why everybody wants to be here. So, tough cookies. We don't need to explain it to you. You don't have the IQ to understand it anyway, and it's going to be lost on you. So, just
Many
wrap it
groups
up.
of people broke Many groups of people broke their backs building up this country. Why are we not, championing the Italians, who
The
are, like,
Irish,
building yes, building
the
dams,
British, the
building
Germans, the
buildings, yeah.
Swedes. I mean, they were, sorry, most of them were European immigrants, but you're not allowed to say that because we live in an anti white global society that wants to totally dismantle any kind of sense of European identity and make you feel ashamed for it, because that's the only threat to their global hegemonic power. That's the truth. Until you get that, nothing else makes sense. When you understand that, everything makes sense.
Right, and that's, like, doubly why when you hear them talk about, "Oh, equality," it's like, well, equality for some, and not if you happen to be, a white person, a European type, you know? What are we
And
doing?
what they mean by equality doesn't even make sense, because they're saying that everybody should be equal and everybody should have the exact same things in their life. I don't believe that. I believe first of all, I don't even actually really believe in equality. I don't think everybody's born equal. I'm not as good at basketball as, Michael Jordan. Should I have the right to the same results as he did? No, that's a clear example. So I would like for there to be equality of opportunity to all American citizens, but that also doesn't really exist. And you know what? You can't even get upset because a lot of those people who do have, advantages have advantages because their parents made sacrifices. That's part of nature. If there's an animal that's stronger than if there's a lion that's stronger than the other lions, her cubs are going to have an evolutionary advantage. That's what it is. So, in the name of equality, the people who are better at things are having their legs chopped off. And as a result, our society's getting worse. Our planes are crashing. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. I
You are
I can't hear you. Yeah, I can't hear Chrissy. Chrissy, can you hear me?
What about now? Check, check, check. Can you hear me?
Hear me? Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Frank came in and unplugged something and he made it worse. Okay. Um that's a really good point you made about how we have spent decades in this country cultivating meritocracy, qualified individuals and like really strong families that have sacrificed, saved up, passed their skills, their resources down to their kids, and but we're now meant to see those things as negative, and it's really just upside down world. We're supposed to uplift people that are less qualified, people that are
Right.
less worthy, um
Meanwhile,
and
they
everything's
don't
getting
break
worse.
down they don't break down things like, I mean, you want to talk about equality of opportunity, right? And how what you're really saying is nobody should monopolize all the opportunities to the exclusion of other people who are capable and who would be able to do this. I fully agree with this. But you know what's so interesting about that? All the companies and people that should be doing that, nobody pays attention to. BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, the pharmaceutical companies, Monsanto, all of these people who actually monopolize opportunities and exclude actual competent persons or companies from the competitive market, nobody cares about. That's the reason you can't own a house is not because some white kid is monopolizing your opportunity. It's because all of the land is being bought up by these people and they're hijacking the prices.
Yep. Yep. That's what we should be talking about on CNN. Deranged Lunatic
Well,
says, Chrissy, do you know oopsie. No, CNN should go out of business. Did you know Pam Bondi is almost 60? No, she's
yes,
actually,
she
what is
is.
she, 50,
She's almost
59,
60.
58?
Yeah.
She's so hot. Whatever she's
Yeah.
doing, girl, keep doing it. I'll buy whatever skincare she's doing. Our bad. Thank you for the orange boy. Hi, gals. First, happy Valentine's Day to my gorgeous, brilliant, and best friend and wife, Rosanna. Leonarda, please have Chrissy get you booked at Tiff's Ale House in New Jersey. I am disabled. Travel is tough, and Tiff's is close. Tiff's is a great venue. You were there last year with me. We did the
Yes.
Grifties together.
Yep.
Happy Valentine's to you too, Arbed. Thank you. Thank you, darling. Don't get gaslighted. Is Leo having a meet and greet out Soul Joel's in Pottstown in March?
I will. Usually afterward, I'm out there selling my merch, talking to people. So, yes.
Yeah. The answer is yes. JR. What's Leonardo's favorite conspiracy? Ooh, I mean,
Well,
I
so if
feel
we're
like
talking about conspiracies, that's to me, it's like things that are not quite verified but would be really fun. So like Tartaria mudslide theory,
yes,
like one of my
underground.
favorites. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Also, the ice wall is pretty fucking awesome. Like
Yeah.
I don't believe it, sorry guys, but it would be pretty
Other
fun.
continents
Yeah,
outside the
there's like
ice
a bunch
wall.
of continents outside the ice wall that we can't go to. That's pretty cool.
That is a cool idea. I like thinking about this stuff. Real Black Betty, I'm of Indian descent and love your Indian jokes on X. Lol, keep making those that can't take a joke off. Tell me about your controversial Indian jokes, Leonarda.
They're not even that controversial. They're the softest jokes I have. But once again, unlike Real Black Betty here, a lot of Indians just have such a fragile ego that if you say anything about India that isn't about how awesome and spiritually minded they are, they totally attack you because, again, you're revealing another myth. It's another sacred cow. Oh, the Hindus are so enlightened. So you go there and they just poop in open defecation with nature. Isn't that
Oh,
wonderful? No, it's
but
not
they have,
wonderful.
but doesn't the pooping in public cancel out like the yoga and right? Isn't it all?
First of all, the whole spiritual minded aspect of it is just a load of shit. You're not gonna give me a break, dude. You go over there and they treat people who are of different castes as if they're like not even humans, and you're gonna tell me you're a spiritually evolved population. I'm not
Mm,
buying it. I'm not buying it. Or
I
maybe
love
that's
it.
that's the best aspect of their
No,
culture. I
good
don't know.
take. Good take. K Max, thank you for the yellow boy. Leonarda, you got onto the whatever podcast, your experience of Brian in the show. What is your experience of Brian in the show? And can Chrissy ever get on there? You got cut off on Israel on the show, but most other points were allowed. Look, I tried to get booked on this show, K Max. I was messaging with Brian and he just like stopped responding to me. He like mentioned a date and then when it came time for that date, he said, "Oh, it's all booked up." So
It wouldn't be
I'm
worth
pretty
your
sure
time. You would have schooled
Brian wants
him.
nothing to do with me.
Yeah. No, you
So,
would have schooled him. He wants like dumb young girls who are going to come up there, say the things that we all know are retarded. They're young. They don't know
yeah.
any better.
They don't know
And
how retarded they are yet. It's that's why you got to get them on when they're 25 and younger
yeah,
because they haven't
yeah.
lived enough life. And
But
he
yeah,
has like 12 people on just they all can
and it
barely get a
goes for such
word
a
in.
long time. It's
They're
like,
there for 8 hours.
yeah, well,
Uh
they told me 6. And when the 6 hour mark came, I was like, yeah, I got to go. We said 6 hours and I'm done. 6 hours. If I had known, I wouldn't have gone, but whatever.
insane. It's a work day. That's like I could think of so many things I'd rather. And they're just having them on to have a viral moment. No, I don't think he actually cares what anybody thinks.
Nope.
Sliding Edge, thank you for the orange boy. We're not as homogenous as we once were. Culture should be in lockstep with our laws and law enforcement. Anytime migration is larger than what culture can handle, society gets fundamentally changed. Love you, Joni.
Thank you. But the thing that people don't understand is culture and demographics go hand in hand. This is a very controversial thing to say in modern day times. Throughout 99.9% of human history, this was a well known and accepted fact. So the fact that it's controversial today is because they don't want you to know this because they're trying to institute demographic change that's easier for the elites to manage people. It's much easier to manage a
Wow.
hodgepodge of people that don't have any connection to the land, that don't have any tribes. Much easier than people. You can't just go in really you couldn't just go in and take over England and be like, I'm English. They knew who was English. So they're
Yep.
trying to do that. And culture is 100% a product of the people. If you want to know why countries around the world are poor, go look at the demographics, and then you will understand that you will go look at their culture. First of all, their culture doesn't have the same kind of work ethics, the same kind of honor, the same kind of courage, the same kind of trust, all of these things that make Western civilization what it is. And then you'll notice a overwhelming correlation between that culture and the demographics it's coming from. Nobody wants to talk about that because it's offensive. I don't really care. The
No,
question
it's
is,
racist. I mean, you're making observations, and is it racist to see a pattern? I guess
Yes.
so.
Yes, that's the whole thing. Yes.
Thank you, Sliding Edge. Junior, I wore Leonardo's gay frog shirt to work today, and it brought up some fun conversations with people who did not get the reference. So I said I was gay. When in
Nice.
doubt.
When in doubt, just shout, "I'm
In fact,
gay."
Junior, you don't even have to say you're gay. Just say you are bisexual, and that'll do it. Oh my god. All right. So Roseanne was awesome. She was super sweet.
Very
She's a
sweet.
fan of you. Were you nervous at all meeting her?
Sure, of course. Who's not gonna be? I was like, "Is she" I didn't know if she was gonna yell at me. I didn't know if she was gonna be like, "Sit down. What have you been saying about my people? I like everything else. This isn't good." But it was so awesome that she was like, "I love that joke."
Uh, that's great. I would absolutely crap my pants to meet her. I think it'll happen one day. If it's meant to
Yeah,
be, it'll be. She's just the greatest. Wowie.
she's a
How
real awesome
cool.
lady.
Okay. So your show was canceled. You have a new venue. How did you find the new venue and how quickly did that come together?
Same day, actually, I reached out to a friend
Wow.
of mine who he's worked with Sam Hyde, and he knew a venue that hosted Sam Hyde. I'm like, if they're gonna host Sam Hyde, then they'll host me. I think. I don't think I'm more radical than him, although that's quickly changing. But yeah, so he reached out on my behalf, and then turns out that the owner of that place loved my comedy. She'd already been following me. She's like, "I love you. We'd love to have you." And then we just did it the same day, set it up, and the ticket link was live, and people have been going over there and getting the tickets, which you could just go to my website, which is leonardaisfunny.com. And I have all my tour dates and ticket links. Some of the locations you'll see are secret locations because
Ooh.
yeah, I can't have people calling the venue, and you'll only get the information once you buy a ticket day of the show.
Do you do you have any like sort of comedy colleagues or people you used to be friendly with, maybe that are lefties, in your DMs or any sort of like public denouncements or kind
I
of
haven't gotten any
anything like
public
that?
denouncements yet. I don't think I've gotten big enough for that. I'm sure it'll happen soon enough. But no, nobody really in my DMs. In the beginning, I had a couple of people who didn't like some of the stuff I was saying about Israel Palestine. They felt like they're the victims, and that, I wasn't understanding their side. And I'm like, I'm watching videos of kids getting their arms blown up and being told, I'm watching videos of Israeli soldiers shooting at little Palestinian kids point blank in the head. And I said, look, if it was Palestinians doing this to Israelis, I would not defend them. I would be defending you too. Like, it's not a matter for me because the Israelis are Jewish. I don't give a fuck. Like, it's like, who's the one that's the culprit? That's what I care about. And when you're killing kids and you're blowing up hospitals where people are, recovering, and you want to say it's because they're harboring terrorists. First of all, I don't believe you. You're full of shit. Number one, you are full of shit. That's a nice excuse that Israel always likes to use. And number two, the ends don't justify the means. So even if that was the case, so your operation is, well, if we got to kill all these innocent people so we can get these quote unquote terrorists, then so be it. And I'm like, what's the math on that? How many terrorists are worth how many innocent lives?
Ugh, that's horrible.
So I've had those people, try to be like, your thing is so hateful or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm being hateful. I think I'm speaking up on behalf of people who have no voice. And if you think Israel's the underdog here, you're not really paying attention. Like, they're completely plugged in. I mean, if they're the underdog, then why does almost every representative in the American Congress have to say that they support Israel?
Mhm.
The underdog is supported by the establishment. Is that right?
That's interesting. Yeah, it's almost like, as necessary as the pride flag or, like, the trans flag. It's like, "Oh, no," or the black square. It's like,
Yep.
"Oh, look." Here's
Well,
my
that's because
support.
AIPAC funds all of their reelection campaigns, and if you ever speak out against Israel, then on the next reelection campaign, they're going to take all the money that they would have given to you, and they're going to give it to your opponent, and they're going to make sure that that person gets elected instead of you. Americans do not decide their own elections.
Whoa.
That's
I
not a
didn't
conspiracy. That's verifiable. Ian, is it Ian Carroll? Yeah, he does great breakdowns of these. I highly suggest
Oh, I
checking his
follow
stuff.
him.
He's great, man, and he's very neutral about the whole thing. So it's not like, and they still accuse him of being anti-Semitic because once again, if you can't argue with someone, you just result to name calling, and that's what happens there. But you can go see it yourself.
Oh my gosh. Hold on. Sorry to interrupt you, but we got a red boy. Oh my God. I gotta play the red boy song. Do, 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 do. Ooh, thank you, Rhinoceros. Very generous. Demographic change was an issue in the 1920s, and an immigration moratorium was passed that was interrupted by Ted Kennedy with the Immigration Act of 1965. Wow.
Yep, and that's when they actually also changed the demographics of immigration. Before 1965, most immigration favored European countries. After 1965, they very explicitly disfavored European immigration and explicitly favored third world non-European immigration, which, by the way, is the culture that is completely at odds with American culture. So you tell me what the point of that was.
Why is that? And right, it's what you said, because
It's to
it's
create
easier to control.
destabilization. It is to destabilize. America was a major European power. I don't care if people, it was it was a country for European peoples. It was a major power. It's going to stand in the way of global domination. And so what you have here is a complete destabilization of the country by bringing in people who are hostile and incompatible with it. And people don't want to talk about that because they say you're being racist, but the people who are doing this are actually the most racist because they think that these people are way easier to rule because they see them as
Wow.
lower IQ and they see them on the lower human scale. And then secondly, the other thing is, do you really think these people are compassionate? Do you really think these global engineers of destruction and famine and plagues care about people from the third world, and that's why they're doing it?
Mm.
I mean, you got to be really a certain level of retarded to actually believe that.
I don't think they really care about anybody except for themselves and their own families.
Well, I'll just put it this way. If, let's say, you're saying this because these people live in such squalid conditions in the third world, okay? What percentage of the people are you bringing over to the first world to supposedly help from there? It's an entirely small percent. You could never import enough of those people to substantially alleviate the suffering that you're talking about.
Mm.
If you were actually interested in alleviating suffering, what you would do is actually something that resembles a bit more of what we traditionally know as colonization, because you would go in and you would set up the structures for these people that they're incapable of setting up for
Like
themselves.
Mr. B going in and giving the Africans water.
Sure, I mean, I think he's a demon, but um
Oh, really?
yeah, I definitely do think he's a demon. There's a whole thing there. I don't know, something very off about it, which I feel bad for him because he started as a kid, and I think they just hacked him.
They hacked his brain.
Yeah, but that's what you would actually do, because you would actually, and people really do want to live in their homelands. Like, there's nothing like, I am an immigrant. That's true. I'm an Albanian immigrant, and there is something different about, when I have gone back and visited my home country, of knowing that this land fertilized my ancestors for generations. I'm an American now, and nothing, I won't ever really fully be able to go back and be Albanian because I just have American sensibilities now. But there's a level to which I'll never be fully American because I have this ancient DNA that's running in my blood. That's true. It's true, and that land is why I exist. America isn't the thing that provided food for my ancestors such that they can keep reproducing and then form the matter that became me. This is a ancient understanding of our connection to land, which the immigrant is deprived of. So when you're forcing, I mean, none of those people, and that's why the people, they'll wave the Mexican flag even if they're the third generation. I get it. I'm not saying, they're wrong for feeling that way.
I
It's
love
just
tacos too.
it's just, if that's what you are, then don't you think you should be there?
Yeah. Yeah. It could be Cinco de Mayo every day.
Yeah.
Margaritas all around. Good points. You're making very good points. You're making a lot of sense, Leonarda.
Well,
Matthew
don't
Hammond.
worry, this will come out as a bigoted interview.
Oh, yes. We'll be canceled again for this. Matthew Hammond, demographic change was an issue. Oh, I already said that. Wow.
I think you didn't read the red guy's comment. I think we didn't read that.
What? No way.
Yeah, the
You
red.
didn't
You
read
read,
it?
yeah, you read the green guy, not the red guy.
Oh my God.
He was the one who was saying something about prison. That one.
Hey, Rhinoceros. Thank you, Rhinoceros. I 100% agree with Leonarda. If racism is so bad, then why is it the way prisons naturally organize themselves? I love this woman. Very good point. I've heard this about prison, is that people sort of separate into their groups.
They do. Yep.
All the trans people get together.
Yeah, those are the ones who are giving up butt sex.
K-Max, thank you for the orange boy. For both ladies, Kanye West shows up at the Grammys with a wife dressed in the nude, then appears on X and says stuff, then disappears and is now getting divorced from the wife. Is he crazy or knows exactly what he's doing? I don't think any of us know Kanye West well enough to determine if he is crazy or not. We're all just spectators. I think these public people, public figures, they're very calculated in their social media and what they want to put out and how they want to be seen in the public. I think he likes to be seen as, I don't know, like a deep thinker. I think he likes to be seen as a creative person.
As a rebel, definitely.
As a rebel, yeah, as someone who's like a
uncontrollable.
tastemaker, someone who's like a culture steerer. Is that a word?
Right.
Steering
The idea that
culture.
you can't control him. I didn't know he's
How
divorcing his wife. Seems like
how I just read that before we went live that they might be that they're getting divorced. How would any of us know who's crazy and who's not? How do any of us actually know what the hell Britney Spears' deal is? Really?
Yeah.
Who really knows? So I think we're seeing what Kanye West wants to see. I think he likes the idea of toying with people or like leading people in a way to get them to think of him a certain way.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think that too. I mean, I think you got to be a certain level of crazy to do what he does, but I don't think it means what people think it means. Like, people get labeled as crazy when they don't conform to the norm, but the norm is actually insane right now. And if you look at it, kind of almost all of these spiritual religious books like the Bible, the Quran, these places, they predict that in the end of times, the sane man will seem insane because the world will have gone so insane that any person speaking truth or normal seems insane to them. And some of Kanye's behavior is definitely erratic or nuts, but I don't think it's without reason. I mean, he was going off about white people and black people and then Jews, and his stuff about Jews got censored. So he's making a point. And then after that, after his stuff gets censored for saying this stuff, he starts posting like rampant pornography, which I'm not a fan of and I don't support, but that doesn't get censored. So if you're smart enough, kind of take a step back and go, wait a second, I can show somebody getting totally ass banged on this platform, no censorship. But if I say something like these specific Jews ruined my life, and he named his Jewish trainer and whatever, that got censored.
Yeah.
So if you're sane, you would go, that's insane behavior. I shouldn't be able to just see two random strangers, going to town when I open up my phone. And I should be able to speak the truth about certain patterns I'm recognizing about who seems to be in charge of the media
Or the weather. Right.
or the weather.
Yeah, it is interesting. I think it's funny how the newer wife, looked very similar to Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, to me, I was almost wondering if he was trying to wreak his retribution on his new wife that he really wanted for Kim, you know?
Yeah. But who really knows what goes on in these
Yeah,
relationships?
I know.
Oh, somebody Chinese. Hi, Leonarda. My name is Jay. I just bought tickets to your show in Washington this summer. Hi, Chrissy. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Jay.
Hey, that's awesome. Well, come up and say hi after the show, Jay. I'll be
Or maybe
happy to
that's
meet you.
Korean. I can't tell the difference. Thank you for the orange boy, though. Such an honor. Such or a Japanese, very good. I can't tell the difference. Um, is there anything? I think probably the answer is no. But is there any material or anything that you start thinking about or saying on stage and you go like, "Ooh, like, all right, this might even be too scandalous for me," or you're just at a place where you don't nothing is off
No, there
limits?
still is. I mean, I still say it, but what usually goes on is I go, this might be even too much for my crowd, you know, and I'm like, I think about that all the time, but that's how I figure out what's funny and where the line is, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's too much because it's not funny enough. That's the truth. At the end of the day, our job is to be comedians. So I'm not up there to lecture and educate people. Although, if my jokes happen to give you some information you didn't know, that's great. But my job is to subvert the propaganda by being funny. So if something doesn't get the reaction I want, then it's like maybe it's not funny enough, you know.
Yeah. What inspires you for like new material?
Usually whatever insanity is going on in the world, when I see somebody doing something that's absolutely bonkers and everybody else is like supporting it or getting behind it, and it pisses me off to no end, then I'm like, yeah, no, we're going to talk. This is ridiculous, you know.
What's your process like? Are you a write on stage, like flesh it out type, or do you like to sit and write?
It's a bit of everything. I do like to sit and write because I don't know, what I'm going to say or what my words are. And I want to go through the topics that I have in mind. And then I can kind of whittle that. But a lot of times what happens is, I'll have an idea about something. And then the way I start talking about it on stage gives me a better punchline than I thought I was going to have. Or I find a new thing just by letting myself kind of go off. Writing on stage was definitely how I used to do it before when nobody knew me and I was just there was nothing to risk, but now people are paying serious money and I want to give them a good show, so I'm not going to be like, well, let's just go to the seat of my pants and we'll find something funny.
Mhm.
I could do that for crowd work and stuff, but not for my material. I got to give them something good.
That's good. You respect you have a respect for the audience. Casey's Bar Malta Pub. I don't know what kind of money this is, but thank you. It's yellow for 129 Seek bucks. What is Seek? I have to look this up now. Seek money. Seek and you shall find. Oh, it's a Swedish. It's Swedish
Oh,
krona.
well, then
Yes.
that means that's actually worth something.
Thank you for the white European money. Matthew Hammond, white savior, liberal ladies caused U.S. issues. Oh, for sure, because
I
these
think they
gals,
were just pawns, Matthew. I
they
think
were
they were
pawns,
pawns of a bigger scheme, pawns of a much bigger scheme. It's very easy to manipulate women because we are compassionate and emotional. So all you have to do
unfortunately.
is hack this sort of natural programming that we have and then fire it at the wrong thing.
Yes, instead of like babies or your own family, it's like, no, you need to be caring about this man in a dress and his
Or
need to
these
get.
hordes of grown third world migrants who are openly telling you, yeah, we're going to come rape you. And you're like, they're refugees. Okay.
They're refugees.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Leonardo is spitting many truths here today. Any places? Tell the people where they can find you on tour, and some places maybe you would like to go in the future, like on your wish list.
Sure. Well, how about if I just should I just share my screen or something? I don't know.
Oh yeah,
My website is under construction, so sorry guys. I understand. I'm technologically retarded, but if you go to my website, which is right here, and you scroll down, you'll see my whole tour schedule.
ooh
So
yes.
I'll be in California at the end of the month, and Chicago, Pottstown, all these places. You guys can go check those out. And if you sign up at the bottom, you'll get email updates when I add new dates. I do send out an email blast when I add new dates. And if you go to I guess my YouTube is popping off right now. You guys can go check that out. Look at us. We're right there.
Way there we go.
So that's I like men with a lot of I put out a 6-minute special. I think you'll appreciate that because you are a comedian and you know why that's funny. But yeah, that's where people can find me right now.
Awesome. Awesome. Leonardo, I'm so proud of you. I
Thank
just want
you.
you to be so gosh darn famous. Zach, final super chat. Are all Eastern European girls as smart as you? I mean, I would
I mean,
hope.
yeah, you kind of got to be savvy so you don't get sold into human trafficking. So,
Mm-hmm. Gotta bob and weave. Leonardo, I adore you. I'm just so proud of you. I think you're the greatest. You really
well,
are
you were the first one who put me on when I was getting canceled by the Ukrainians, and not a lot has changed. It's just different groups that are canceling me. So,
good. I love it. I love it. I'm here for it. Everybody follow Leonardo. She's just the best. I'm obsessed. And thank you guys in the chat for your comments and questions. I appreciate you so much. And we'll see everybody next time.